Human Trafficking in Wisconsin by Ellie Doneth. What is human trafficking? Human trafficking involves recruitment, harboring, or transporting people into a situation of exploitation through the use of violence, deception, or coercion, and force to work against their will. Human trafficking is the second largest and fastest growing criminal industry in the world. People can be trafficked for many different forms of exploitation, such as forced prostitution, forced labor, forced begging, forced criminality, domestic servitude, forced marriage, and even forced organ removal. Forced prostitution, or sex work, comprises about 80% of all human trafficking. According to Homeland Security, human trafficking is modern-day slavery. Every year, millions of men, women, and children are trafficked in countries around the world, including the United States. It is estimated that human trafficking generates many billions of dollars of profit per year, second only to drug trafficking as the most profitable form of transnational crime. Human trafficking is a hidden crime, as victims rarely come forward to seek help because of language barriers, fear of the traffickers, and/or fear of law enforcement. The trauma caused by the traffickers can be so great that many might not even identify themselves as victims or ask for help, even in highly public settings. Who is at risk? Traffickers use force, fraud, or coercion to lure their victims and force them into labor or commercial sexual exploitation. They look for people who are susceptible for a variety of reasons, including psychological or emotional vulnerability, economic hardship, lack of social safety net, natural disasters, or political instability. Often, we have a very specific image of a person who's been trafficked in our minds because of a documentary, film, or a news story we've seen. This image is usually one of several varieties: a poor, shoeless person sitting in the dirt in a rural village, a teenage girl with chains around her hands and feet, or maybe even images we've seen in history books about the transatlantic slave trade. But these images don't provide a clear understanding of who is actually falling prey to human traffickers. Victims are often in plain view and go unidentified because they don't match the stereotypical image the media portrays and the public consumes. A person who's been trafficked likely lives a life with compounding vulnerabilities like trauma, abuse, neglect, disability, violence, family breakdown, homelessness, poverty, or a combination of many factors. Though cultural norms and values differ worldwide, the need to be loved and the desire to provide for one's family are common to us all. Traffickers exploit vulnerabilities that many people already face by using stories of a better life, whether that means a feeling of belonging, a better income, or a chance for new opportunities. While these claims may appear to be legitimate at first, unfortunately for many men, women, and children, they're targeted as easy prey for exploitation. Human trafficking affects everyone: men, women, children, youth, those foreign to a nation and a country's own citizens. Human trafficking in Wisconsin. There have been documented cases of human trafficking in all 72 counties, with over 200 cases reported in over half of them. Wisconsin is known as the Mecca for sex trafficking due to both geographic location and easy access to numerous interstate highways. Milwaukee is known as the Harvard of pimp schools. Milwaukee has gained a reputation as a hub for sex trafficking after a series of high-profile prosecutions of pimps and rankings in nationwide FBI human trafficking stings. Court cases here have revealed generations of traffickers, some of whom participate in pimp roundtables, during which they discuss business practices of the illegal trade. Over 340 individuals have been confirmed to be victims of trafficking in Wisconsin from 2013 to 2016. Over 102 children alone have been confirmed to be victims of sex trafficking in Wisconsin from 2010 to 2014. Milwaukee detective Dawn Jones states these numbers are just scratching the surface of the issue Milwaukee and Wisconsin faces. Trafficking happens throughout the state of Wisconsin. From 2013 to 2016, in the city of Milwaukee alone, 340 individuals were identified as victims of sex trafficking. Of the 230 individuals with demographic or historical information available, 97% of them were female and 65% were African American. 81% were confirmed victims of sex trafficking. 86% had another prior reported interaction with Milwaukee or Wisconsin police, including sexual assaults, battery, child abuse, or missing person reports. 59% had a history of being reported as a missing person to Milwaukee police at least once. And 55% were juveniles at the first reported incident of suspected or confirmed sex trafficking. Milwaukee has become the Harvard of pimp schools, with over 79% of human trafficking in Wisconsin occurring in Milwaukee. An FBI sting last year rescued 9 adolescents from commercial sexual exploitation, meaning Milwaukee is tied with Las Vegas for the third highest number of young people rescued during the FBI raids across the U.S. Denver topped the list with 20 young people rescued, and Detroit was next with 19. Over the past 4 years, however, Milwaukee has consistently ranked among the top 5 cities in the nation for the recovery of trafficked adolescents. In 2011, it reported the highest number. The National Human Trafficking Resource Center received over 261 calls in 2017 to their human trafficking hotline, which pertained to human trafficking. Of those 261 calls, 91 of them were confirmed human trafficking cases. The main type of human trafficking, according to the National Human Trafficking Resource Center, are sex and labor trafficking. The top venues and industries are massage and spa businesses, online ads, residence-based commercial sex, hotels and motels, hospitality, and retail. The gender primarily affected is female, and the ages range from 13 to 25. My marketing-based solution to mitigating human trafficking in Wisconsin is the HOPE Project. The HOPE Project would be a nonprofit organization aimed at preventing human trafficking through awareness, educating youth, parents, and the community about human trafficking, and providing support to at-risk persons and trafficking survivors. Awareness campaigns will serve as the primary basis to market the organization. Awareness will be promoted through the use of billboards, public service announcements, posters at bus stops, schools, public events, and more, local news interviews, and social media. Billboards can range anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. Digital billboards capable of short video clips would range from $5,000 to $8,000 each. Posters can range anywhere between $300 and $800. Public service announcements, such as Pandora print ads, audio ads, or video ads, can range anywhere between $5 to $25 per ad. PSAs on platforms like YouTube and Spotify range from 10 cents to 27 cents per click. Social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn are approximately 27 to 35 cents per click. These costs in the long run would be covered by charitable donations and grants. The second initiative of the organization and another marketing avenue is education via educational speakings and courses. These events would be aimed at schools and college campuses, teachers, law enforcement, truck drivers, group home and foster care workers, parents, as well as community forums. The primary goal of the organization would be to provide hands-on support to the at-risk and survivors of human trafficking. In order to be able to provide these services, funds would need to be raised. The main sources of funds would be from partnerships with larger organizations and campaigns like United Way, local businesses, fundraisers and run walk events, individual donations and sponsorships, as well as partnering with the local community and businesses to hold a gala dinner with music, silent auction, and a speaker. The funds raised would go toward the support services, which would include legal services, financial aid and planning resources, temporary housing, childcare, education and career services, counseling and rehab, health and wellness, and after and before school care, as well as summer camps. If the nonprofit organization were to be successful, In 10 years, I would hope to see an increased awareness throughout Wisconsin regarding sex trafficking, a decrease in human trafficking statistics, legislature passed that imposes harsher penalties on the buyers of human trafficking. I would hope to provoke creation of more resources for the at-risk and survivors, and overall, a safer Wisconsin for all men, women, and children.